Good morning, Salem family. I am Laura Frank, and I am teaching fifth grade here at Salem this year. And we're a few weeks into this school year, which is good, but the excitement is sort of reaching that place where the honeymoon period is over a little bit and we're settling in. And sometimes things can seem more challenging and sometimes can seem more draining. And you kind of wonder, where was all that enthusiasm and energy that we had just a few short weeks ago? And so I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about this book. I hope that when it shows, it doesn't mirror it for you, but it's called Your God is Too Glorious: Finding God in the Most Unexpected Places. And it's written by Chad Bird. We did this book as a book study a few summers ago with our women's Bible study. And I marked this page that I'm going to share with you because it just really jumped out at me. One of my favorite stories in the Bible is when, I think it's Elijah. Now my memory's fading, but he's just feeling overwhelmed. And God just says, go. And Elijah goes up to this mountain and he's waiting for this big, bold sign, and God's not doing it. And finally, it's that still small voice, that whisper, that low wind. And that's where God is. And sometimes I think we get so wrapped up in our everyday loud. I don't know if you've been in a classroom lately, but there's not a lot of very quiet time. And so it can feel like God isn't there sometimes. You can feel alone. And, God is quiet. He can be loud. He can be bold. But he calls us into relationship with him in so many ways that is not a big, bold thing. So I wanted to share with you this page that I just marked. And it's called Unseen Altars. The places where we come face to face with God are but whispers amid the noise and clamor of our carnival world. They look like a rocking chair where a mother cradles her crying infant to her breast. Her eyes are heavy, her nerves frazzled. The clock says 2:34 a.m. She's never gone so far on so little sleep. A truck rumbles by outside her home. Moonlight pressing through the window casts strange shadows on the nursery walls. She looks down at the tiny face pressed against her skin, drinking from her body, completely reliant upon her for life. She softly sings the same lullabies her mother once sang to her. She is a mother. This is her child. And she rocks the chair back and forth, atop an unseen altar. Here in this place, God is present. He is in her, filling her lungs with air and her breasts with milk. He is in the child, this diapered image of the Creator, knit together in his mother's womb, brought forth as an icon of the Father's love. He is in the feeding and the eating, the giving and the receiving, the profound simplicity of a mother and a child doing what they do, being who they are. Here is an altar, a thin place, sacred soil inside a nursery. A divine appearance looks like a John Deere driven by a farmer who pulls a plow to ready the earth for seed. His cap is stained with sweat. His calloused hands are the only resume he has. His father and grandfather before him sank their lives into these acres of West Texas soil. He pours a cup of coffee from a thermos as the tractor crawls along. The last 3 years were hard on his family. That hail 2 summers ago, the drought last year. His daughter is starting at tech this fall, so he plows, he plants, and he prays for rain. He is a farmer. This is his land, and he drives the tractor back and forth, atop an unseen altar. Here, in this place of dirt and fertilizer and seed, God is present. He is in this small town farmer, cutting arrow straight furrows through the fields. He is in the plowing and the sowing, harvesting and transporting. The diesel fumes rise like incense before the Father's throne. This man is a rural priest at work in the tabernacle of the farm, raising food to feed a hungry world. Here is another altar, more sacred soil. These divine appearances look like a taxi honking and weaving its way through the labyrinth of New York City traffic. They look like an outpost in Afghanistan where a Marine holds a rifle in his hands but dreams of holding his 3-year-old daughter again. They look like lumber mills and coal mines and auto factories where workers do their jobs, earn their pay, care for their families. These places are thick with the everyday needs of the world. God moves within these believers, back and forth, atop the unseen altar of the world, whispering amid the noise, I am here with you. Your work is sacred. This is how I care for the world, through you, in you, by you. I love that. I love that so much because it just reminds me that even in my daily stuff, God is using me and God's using you too. And that's so cool. He can use you if you're homebound because you can lift your hands in prayer. He can use you if you're unemployed. He can use you if you are so busy in the midst of things that it feels like packing one more lunch will drive you over the edge. God is in you. He loves you. He sees you. And he has created you to reflect his light to the world. So, wherever you are today, try to take a second to listen for that God moment and know that he loves you a lot. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you soon.